What's up, everybody? This is Whiskey in the Six. I'm Rob. Today is International Whiskey Day, so I figured I'd celebrate with a whiskey that I've already reviewed, but had the chance to re-review or had the chance to re-taste lately, and it's phenomenal stuff. As you can tell, I've gone through quite a bit of it already. Gonna call up the chat over here so I see who is tuned in. I see that there are about 10 people already. Here we go. Oops, that's the one right there. Pause. These things are always finicky when I go by myself just because I am terrible with technology. Hey, Scotty's in the house. What else do we have here? Is there a way to make the chat bigger, Scott? I don't know how to do that. Maybe if I make this bigger. There we go. That's the way. All right, International Whiskey Day. What are we drinking, guys? Hopefully everybody's drinking something nice. I started a little earlier than I thought I would, just because the wife went to bed early and the kids went to bed early. So I figured I'd get a head start. This way I can go to bed somewhat early tonight. We got Go Habs in the house. We got That's Crazy. What's up, brother? Duncan. How's it going, brother? Santa Cruzin. What's up, buddy? Scotch Test Dummies. That's Scotty for sure. And we got Dr. David in the house. Tom R. What's up, brother? Roy. Running for a flight. What's he saying? Sorry. This chat's a little finicky tonight. Almost 4 a.m. Wow. All right, brother. Well, we're glad to have you with us, and hopefully you can stick around as long as possible, but I know you got to go. So whenever you do that, thank you for joining us. My Bourbon Journey's here. Hey, what's going on, brother? Loch Ness. What's up, buddy? How's it going? All right. So like I was saying, I've already reviewed the Glengoyne 21-year-old, but I plan to give it a re-review type mark. Go Habs is wondering if this is the school computer. Yes, the quality is much better on my school computer, so I will be using this as often as possible. All right. I could use my cell phone, but that just makes it a little bit more difficult to use the chat and all those other things. So I figure it's better to just be on the school computer, and this way I can kind of talk to you guys as well. KS in the house. All right, so I did a little bit of research, seeing that it was International Whiskey Day, and I know that there's a World Whiskey Day, so I was kind of confused about that, and I could see why other people would be confused about that, so I figured I'd try to iron that out for you guys. So International Whiskey Day started, apparently, according to Wikipedia, which isn't the best source in the world, that's for sure, but it started in 2008. There was actually a World Whiskey Day festival the following year, 2009, and they deemed March 27th World Whiskey Day. So International Whiskey Day. World Whiskey Day is in May, all right? This is why it's confusing. And I know that there's probably 15 other types of whiskey days throughout the year. So this one's supposed to basically commemorate Scottish, Canadian, and Japanese whiskey, because they're spelt without the E, apparently, but they also want to acknowledge Irish and American. I don't know if any of that's true. It's one site. I didn't want to go too much into detail because there wasn't a lot of resources to begin with, but that's what I hear. So that beard. And ironically, I was gifted some beautiful whiskeys that didn't make it across. And huge shout out going to Chris, Santa Cruz, and man, thank you so much. I really appreciate all you did. I really appreciate the gesture. These archaic laws that make absolutely no sense. You would think that we were the country that had prohibition. It doesn't make sense to me, but unfortunately, that's just the way things go. And I really want to thank you for giving it your all on your end. Who's they? All right, so I will have clear the third. I will have a guest tonight. He'll probably just pop in whenever he feels he's ready. It was a last minute thing. I was debating on having another guest as well. It's a girl. Her name is Once Upon a Dram on Instagram. She does whiskey blogs, and eventually she wants to get into YouTube. I believe they have a YouTube video up already, but they're not quite fully transitioned into the YouTube world. So that might be next week, maybe the week after. I'm not 100% sure. We're trying to work something out. That's the only issue with time zones, because she lives in California. I obviously live in Ontario, and there's a 3-hour time difference. All right, so currently have 25, probably because I said I was going at 10 and dropped it down about, well, actually I said I was going at 10:15, dropped it down about 45 minutes, but we have people popping in and out, so we'll see what happens. And I also didn't do my usual announcing this on Facebook and announcing it on Instagram because I wasn't committed to the time, although I really should be, because this is kind of my time. All right. Glengoyne 21-year-old. First of all, I didn't see anybody comment on what they are drinking, so let's go with that first. All right. So actually, Tim is saying that he's drinking Compass Box Oak Cross. Mike is commenting on me not having Windows 95 tonight. Jason Fisk just joined us. What's up, brother? Jason Fisk drinking 12, and my homeboy Whiskey Throttle just joined us. So what's going on, brother? Daniel.
Hey.
I think your mic is off, Daniel.
Yeah, I got too many things going here, trying to get it all set up.
Glenfarclas 21.
How's that, better?
21. Dan E is drinking, Dan E is drinking Glenfarclas 21. Go Habs is drinking Glenmorangie 10-year-old. Compass Box Spice Tree for Trin. Very nice. It's 12:43 p.m. in Sydney. Hold on, I missed that. So it's the afternoon in Sydney. Right on. Daniel, I still can't hear you. I'm not sure what's going on.
Can you hear me now?
Oh, it's, you know what? That's probably on my end. Hold up a second.
Control your mic? How do I sound to everybody else?
Yeah, that's definitely on my end. 1 sec.
And I look all faded and.
Yep.
What am I looking for?
No, you're good. You're good. It was my end. Sorry about that.
Okay.
Eric, what's up, brother? How's it going?
Okay. How you doing, everybody? I appreciate being on, and thanks for having me. But everyone keeps saying International Whiskey Day. Is it national or international today?
It's International Whiskey Day.
Okay.
But then again, like, really, it's all made up anyway. So let's just all have a drink and enjoy.
I do need Julia there, Santa Cruzan, but she is with her mom in the hospital. Her mom had a heart attack on a couple days ago. So.
And we are hoping that Julia's mom is in good health now and hopefully recovers fully within the next couple of days. She's doing okay right now, right, Daniel?
Yeah, she is. They took her and got her set up real good and quick, and she's doing all right. She's fortunately. Sorry, everybody's sending me messages all at the same time. I missed what you were saying about in the beginning about what everybody was drinking. I just got home from work, literally.
Yeah, it's a mixed match. I saw a couple Compass boxes actually. What are you drinking?
I am going to open up a bottle from Adelphi called the Kim Carden.
Kim Kardashian?
Yes, I think you stole that joke from Scott Stas Dummies.
What is that? What he said? I don't.
Yeah, he did. Anybody ever have these Adelphis?
Great minds think alike, they say. So
yes.
So it's weird that Scott and I both said that.
It is. I think you're planning on it. You're planning it out. Anybody wants me to hold that still for a while? It's 7 years old, and it is a fusion of Scotch and single malt Indian whiskey.
Peter White just joined us, and malted in Montreal. Swami joined us as well. Rob G, what's going on? He's drinking Johnnie Walker Black 2049. I still haven't tried that, actually. I'm very curious about that one.
Yeah, I am too, because I've never heard of it.
It's the one.
I'm going to do a Trini and C. I'm doing a Trini and C thing and looking for the tab. I think it's here somewhere.
Speaking
of
of
watching, I'm just busting your balls. I haven't even met those fellas.
Speaking of Trini and C, I should be on with Trini tomorrow night on their channel, actually. So if you guys please tune in for that. That'll be fun.
You Italian pretty boys get around.
That's right. That's right. That's what they say.
A unique blend of Indian, and I am so tired of the glass conversations going on that I'm just going to pour this into a competition glass, is what Eric Waite told me this was.
Oh, boy. Paulo, what's up, brother? Whiskey Data, you too, buddy. So, yeah, I kind of went over the silly and the numerous whiskey days that there are, but yeah, I don't know. Like, when did you find out it was International Whiskey Day?
Well, I found that out, I think yesterday somebody posted something on one of the social media things, and that's how I figured it out. But I'm trying to figure out which one is associated with Michael Jackson. And I think it's this one, isn't it? Not Michael Jackson that you grew up dancing with. You know which Michael Jackson I'm referring to.
I'm going to have to say that I do not know which Michael Jackson you're referring to.
Okay, somebody in Chatland, please educate the young whippersnipper who Michael Jackson is. And this may have something to do with fundraising for Parkinson's disease.
It does. That's right. I did read that. It does. It does have to do with fundraising for Parkinson's. I don't know.
Wow.
I'm assuming Michael Jackson is a guy that had Parkinson's, or a doctor that. I don't know.
Well, I don't want to read it and misquote it, so can I? I'm gonna turn the computer a little bit and take a look here and make sure I get it right. There you go. There's more than one Michael Jackson. Yes, there is, Claire.
Claire's around my age, I believe, so he's probably feeling the exact same way I'm feeling right about now. He was a famous whiskey writer, according to Peter White.
That's right. He's a famous whiskey writer. Yeah.
Yeah, I know who Michael Jordan is. That's for sure.
Yeah, different, and he's still alive.
There's a Michael Johnson.
He wrote the complete guide to single malt Scotch. Actually, I think he wrote more than one book.
Eric Waite just put Michael James Johnson, March 27th, 1942. He was born, so we're basically celebrating his birth.
He passed away 11 years ago in 2007.
Yeah, in August 2007, was an English writer and journalist. He was the author of many influential books about beer and whiskey.
Can you get in trouble, Eric Waite, for plagiarizing and copying and pasting from Wikipedia and clicking it in the chat?
Eric, an encyclopedia. That's the key here, right? So
yes, he is. He's one of the best guys to have in a chat.
Right.
Or as Bart calls him, the sniper.
The sniper. The comedic sniper.
Did I hear or see Swami in there? I think I did.
I'm pretty sure you didn't hear him, but you probably saw him, yeah.
I think I see Swami. I hear Swami all the time. He's whispering in my ear.
Those are the voices in your head, Daniel.
Oh, yes.
So if you're joining us and you haven't subscribed to Whiskey Throttle, please do so. Daniel's got the best collection in the business, and he's going to be sharing it one live review at a time with us. So,
yeah, it looks like that. Hopefully, I'll learn how to do videos and edit like you boys.
Well, I just started editing for the first time probably in 2018. So I've been doing the channel for 2 years and didn't edit at all. But I want to show these bottles really quick because this lovely gentleman sitting on the other end of this internet link sent me these beautiful bottles, Glencaidem 14 Oloroso and Glencaidem 15. For those of you that think this Glencaidem 15 looks familiar, that's because Roy Aquavite chose it as his whiskey of the year, as did Ralphie. Roy is a little bit more known than Ralphie, I believe, but for the most part, I think somebody.
You know that if Roy was watching right now, you'd have him blushing from earlobe to earlobe.
Roy's the man. Roy is the man. That's for sure. So, yeah. Swami is saying, GD. Swami got a nice little gift package as well.
I'm just telling somebody how to find me.
Well,
that's crazy.
Oh, okay, I see. Saw those on Snups, Rob. So, Loch Ness. So, for those of you that don't know, I'm in charge of a group called Snups, or sorry, a group called Whiskey in the Six on an app called Snups, and Loch Ness is one of the guys involved in the chats constantly, and really cool guy. So, you guys should join us on Snups. I think you'd really like it, especially you, Daniel, with that collection. It's ridiculous.
I know, but then you'd know what's in my collection, and then I'd be haunted.
Oh, okay. So Roy's correcting me. My apologies. It wasn't his whiskey of the year, but it was a giveaway. I remember the giveaway. That's why I probably got those confused. He gave that bottle away in honor of Ralphie on his 100K sub day or whatever it was. Whenever Roy went live that time.
I do remember him. Yep. Yeah. In that video saying that. 1 sec.
Palmar is loving Snups too. I really enjoy it. It gives you an opportunity to see what everybody else is collecting, and it also gives a lot of people an opportunity to trade and maybe do a little buying and selling if they have to. For me, it's a lot of fun.
Okay, I'll take another look at it.
That's it. Yeah. See, I sold you finally. It was Ralphie's whiskey of the year. Yeah. So Scotty's saying that it was Ralphie's. Yeah. For sure it was Ralphie's.
It was Ralphie's, yeah. I should have got some water while I was up. This is very good.
So that's the Adelphi right there?
Yeah, it's Scotch and Indian fused together, right? Both single malts.
So that's kind of like well, no, I think Amrut is just Indian barley and Scottish barley, but it's all distilled in India.
You mean the Amrut fusion?
The fusion, yeah.
Do I have a fusion? I have a couple of their intermediate sherries.
I have an empty bottle of Amrut Fusion. Honestly, it's my favorite Amrut. I've tried the Amrut Spectrum 005. That was probably my favorite, but impossible to find the bottle. They're like over $500.
I have that bottle somewhere. I can't find it.
I think you have the Spectrum 004, though.
I have the first Spectrum as well.
Oh, you have the original?
Yeah. I should post that on Snups and sell it to you, eh?
Oh, that's a beauty. Show that again. Say something. Nice. Is that 5? Count the number of staves, because the 004 and the 005 is just describing the amount of staves used in the whiskey. The 005 came before the 004. I just want to give a quick shout out to Simple Diversion. That's probably Rob, super cool guy. Still waiting for a shirt that I ordered from him. I'm not sure. It's not directly from him. It was from the site, so hopefully I get that soon. But if you guys get a chance, you should buy some of their shirts. They're really nice.
I just saw Swami's shirts. They're looking pretty good. He's got a lot of mail to deliver.
So Peter White has given me samples of both the Port Nova and the intermediate sherry. He says that the Port Nova kills fusion dead, and so does the intermediate sherry. We agree to disagree on this one because for whatever reason, I love the fusion. I'm not sure why. I don't know what it is about it. It's like the creaminess of it, I think. I don't know.
No, that's phenomenal stuff they make.
Like all the other stuff is great, but I really like that fusion.
Have a good night, Swami. I hope you're not showering alone.
I'm not sure what Booty's talking about. He's asking me, Rob, Khabib or Ferguson? I don't know if I understand.
I don't know who Booty Liquor is.
So Swami just got a whole bunch of shirts made from That's Crazy, and if you guys are able to, you should check out what those shirts look like and ask Swami for one because they are pretty cool. Oh, he's asking UFC. Honestly, Habib, yeah. I'm going to say Habib probably.
I have stopped following the UFC. I hardly know any of those fighters when they talk about them now.
Loch Ness is saying that my reviews and suggestions are going to bankrupt him. I apologize, man. I'm going to start to do, like, I get this bad rap because a lot of people say that I review only expensive things, which isn't true. What happens is all the stuff that I buy that's not my favorite tends to end up at the back, and I say that I'm going to get to it eventually, but I keep on buying new stuff, and it comes in front of that stuff. So eventually I will get to everything on this table. I should probably stop buying stuff because
well, just so Loch Ness knows, I have gone bankrupt because of Rob, because he keeps showing these freaking expensive things and telling me that he's getting them and stealing them from my province. And I'm now protecting them, their heritage. They belong here.
So, speaking of which, you purchased a bottle of 1983, right? The Bal Blair?
Yeah, it's in another room right now.
Did you also purchase the 1993, the Gordon MacPhail that I just reviewed recently?
I did, yes. Twice.
Twice? That stuff is amazing. You're going to love it.
Like I said, Loch Ness, he's making me go broke. My entire tax refund is going to pay my visa off.
At least you get a refund. We teachers end up paying the government, as if we don't pay the government enough.
My accountant asked me how come I'm getting so much money back. I can't say what I told him online here.
So I didn't see Cobra Jet Joe's question about a Knox, but that's what I believe he's asking. Peter White's answering, yes, the 1975 and the 24-year-old are excellent. I can only attest to, I think, actually, I'm not sure. Peter sent me in a knock this summer. I can't remember what it was, whether it was the 22 or the 24, but I do have two bottles of the knock 1975. I opened one of them, and it's excellent stuff.
So Bootlicker is asking, Booty Liquor, sorry, there's a big difference between a bootlicker and a booty liquor, just so you know. At least to where I work it is.
Absolutely.
I just got a suggestion here from Scott, I'm assuming, from Scotch Test Dummies, that I can do it, form an LLC, and then I can do my whiskey reviews as a write-off. That actually is very good information. I'm going to talk to my accountant about that. Because he did.
Tell Scott to check his email.
Okay, check your email. Back to Booty Liquor. What is any suggestions for a beginner Eiley? There's lots.
I think what you're going for is Isla.
Eiley. I lean a lot while I drink whiskey. What?
You lean?
Here's an Eiley. They're not cheap though.
No, they're not. Wait, I missed
This is a little 50 cl bottle, and I believe that it's probably got some Bruichladdich in it, but they're not telling us anything.
I want to give a quick shout out to Simple Diversion. That's probably Rob. Like I said, I don't know if he corrected me in the chat, but thank you very much for the super chat, brother. Really appreciate it. You're awesome.
Claire, it's not boot liquor, it's booty liquor. I said it wrong. I work with a guy that has written a book. It's called The Naked Canadian, and he lives on a boat. And he travels, he's all down in all the Caribbean areas when we're not working on a boat. He lives in Vancouver Island. And here's the known truth. All his traveling is a tax write-off as research for his new or next book.
Nice. That's awesome. I'm still trying to publish a book, actually. I quit sending it out to agents, literary agents, because it's just a pain in the butt. Like, the whole process is a pain in the butt. But eventually, there may be a sci-fi book published by Rob DeSantis. We'll see. Maybe one.
I thought you were fantasy books.
Both, my friend. They are a stream of the same genre, pretty much.
And what's that genre?
Fantasy, essentially.
Fantasy and sci-fi are the same thing.
Almost.
Would 50 Shades of Grey be sci-fi or fantasy?
50 Shades of Grey would be right up your alley, but it's neither of the other two.
Don't tell Julia. I don't think she's read the book yet.
How's it? 21 is amazing. Honestly, this is going to be an A+ for me. I'm correcting the mark. I originally rated this lower than the 18-year-old. And honestly, I don't know if I had just a bad bottle the last time. Not that it was bad by any means. It's just it wasn't as good as this. This is incredible stuff. The way I acquired this bottle actually was pretty interesting. I was asked by Glengoyne representatives to do a marketing video for them. So they sent me a list of questions, and I had to answer them as sincerely as possible. And as a gift for doing that 5-minute video, which really, honestly, literally only took me about 10 minutes, they gave me this beautiful Glengoyne 21-year-old. So that's why it has the UK stamp on it still. That's not something that you'd see at the LCBO for sure. So it's also a 700 milliliter as opposed to a 750 milliliter, which is what you would get in North America.
Would you?
Yeah.
Guaranteed, or only in the US?
I'm almost certain that, let's see. I'm almost certain that, well, this was purchased in Canada and that's only 700 milliliters, so maybe I'm wrong.
Would you?
Yeah.
Guaranteed, or only in the US?
I'm
Who's that guy?
Certain that Scotty. I'm almost certain that, well, Scotty, you gotta mute your computer there, bud. So maybe I'm wrong.
Would you?
Yeah.
Guaranteed, or only in the US?
I'm
Who's that
almost
guy?
certain that Scotty. I'm almost certain that, well, Scotty, you gotta mute your computer. There. Did you do it,
Sorry,
Scotty?
yep. You rushed me. He's like biting me in here, and I'm like rushing around trying to get set up.
Sorry, man.
You probably had to put a shirt on.
He had to put his penis back in his pants.
I literally
That's
just
long.
got home from work and had changed when you went live, and I was eating a snack, and my wife had bought me some habanero hot sauce. And I thought I'm going to try that out on some French fries, and woo, it's hot. It's still on there a little bit.
Nice.
Some of that stuff, it's usually false advertising. You know, you buy something that's marked habanero, burn your face hot, and then you eat it, and you're like, that's not even hot. This one wasn't false advertising. It's hot.
Yeah, yeah. Sometimes like there was a point in my life where it was difficult to find something hot enough, but now I've become softer in my old age. What are you drinking there, Scotty?
Well, I don't have Glengoyne 21. I got Glengoyne 18 or 15 or 12.
Honestly, I gotta say I love the 18, but I have a soft spot in my heart for the 12. I really like the 12.
Oh, look at I got a new one I'm going to be trying too. Two brewers.
Is that thing wearing nylons?
Yeah. They're purple, my favorite color.
That's
so for the longest time, people like I believe that this picture in the back here was blue. So the longest time, I'm colorblind, by the way. So I thought it was blue. My wife bought it for me, knowing that the Whiskey in the Six colors were supposed to be blue. She's not colorblind. Nobody told me it was purple. And one day, my buddy's like, "Yeah, Whiskey in the Six, purple. I love it." I'm like, "What are you talking about? Whiskey in the Six is blue." He's like, "No, the picture in the back of your Whiskey in the Six set is purple." I'm like, "You're joking?" I was devastated. It was like finding out that Santa Claus isn't real. You guys had an opportunity to try this one, the Glengoyne peated port.
No.
So
I haven't even seen that one.
This one was.
I do not have that one.
Yeah, this one wasn't available in Canada. My buddy Jeremy acquired it, and let me take half of his bottle to do a review on. Pretty excited about that one.
So we never got to Booty Liquor's question about peated whiskey to try, and since Scott's on here, for a beginner, where do you think the peated whiskey? Where would a beginner start? The Booty Liquor asked.
I would start with this right here.
Is that peated?
Well, yeah, that is. Yeah, there's a little bit of peat in there.
Yeah, there's some peat in this one. And it's lovely. Scott, my wife rearranged my basement. I was just complaining to Daniel earlier. And I had your hat somewhere here. And now that you're putting it on mine, it makes me feel really guilty because she probably moved it upstairs somewhere. And
well, Throttle's wearing mine, so I thought I better put yours on.
Yeah. And all I need right now, since Swami left, is the Malted in Montreal T-shirt, and I'll be all set. What we need is Whiskey in the Six, like ring.
What do you
I think a good peated
racially profiling right now?
I think a good peated starter is Kalila. It's a little higher.
Yeah.
If money is an issue, the Isla Mist 8 or something like that is like a $25, $30 bottle. Decent.
Well, this bottle I held up earlier was supposed to be in somebody's package going down to them, and I forgot to send it.
Wow, I bet they would have liked to get that.
They probably would have. It's 59% an Islay only blend.
Eric Wade is clarifying that the Whiskey in the Six symbol and poster in the back is Minnesota Vikings purple. So,
who are they? Never heard of them.
We don't know what NFL is in Canada. Speak CFL to us. I honestly I know more about the NFL than I do about the CFL.
Awesome, Crazy. That's awesome.
Man, honestly, I am in love with Springbank 12-year-old. And I don't know if you guys caught it. If you guys are watching right now and you don't know who Malt Reviews is, it's two guys, Mike and Narby. Super cool guys. They're going to be on my channel eventually within the next couple weeks, months, hopefully very soon. They usually film all in one day, and they get together, I think, once a month or something like that. So I got to time it properly. But
Loch Ness is saying something about my package.
You've been sending that package out quite frequently, I think.
Listen, you're lucky Julie is too busy to watch this. You guys get me in trouble. But I'm going to put something up on the screen here. A pair of socks that I got. And I think I'm going to get them changed a little bit. See if I don't fall off my rolling chair here. If you can read this.
Yep.
Julia bought those for me.
John Belushi is saying, crack open the Elijah Craig 23. Who has one of those?
Daniel does.
Daniel, crack it open, man. What are you waiting for?
I'm not cracking that thing open yet.
I'll crack open the Bell Blair 1983 if you crack that open.
Yeah, I know you will. Listen, I'm loving this right now. If you get a chance, and I'm the only one being fully international. I'm drinking Scotch, whiskey, and Indian at the same time.
Yeah, well, I think it's international. Any country outside of North America, isn't it? So.
I guess.
So Scotch works just fine, I think, is what I'm trying to say.
Yes.
I'm just busting your chops.
I know. I'm just trying to bust yours back. But.
So, just if you're tuning in just now, we have about 44 people. Daniel is currently drinking an Adelphi Kim Kardashian special.
Yeah.
Stop
stealing Scott's lines.
Hey, you know what? I honestly, innocently did not hear him say that. So I'm gonna say, like I said earlier, great minds think alike.
No, I said me and Daniel was just hanging out the other night, and he told me about that, and that was the first thing I said. Kim Kardashian. Yeah, great minds think alike.
Kim Kardashian. Well, it's probably because I pronounce things like Bart. Poor Bart.
So John is saying that the Elijah Craig 18 is impossible to find at retail these days, much less the 21 and the 23. I had lined up a trade for an Elijah Craig 18, and then I didn't go through with it, and I probably should have, but I heard some of these older bourbons can get really, really oaky. So maybe I made the right decision. I'm not sure.
I think you did. And I just bought my first Octomore.
Did you crack it open yet?
That's definitely not.
No. Should I?
Yeah.
And I opened and I bought this.
That one I need to try. That's the cast strength, right? The 8-year-old.
Yeah. Whiskey in the Six did a review on it. I didn't catch what ABV his was.
Oh, really?
I think Ralphie did.
Whiskey in the Six did a review on it.
Yeah.
No, he didn't.
Oh, sorry. Where am I right now? Yeah.
What's your name again?
I just got home and I went straight to the whiskey and I haven't had anything to eat. Whiskey Whistle.
There you go.
Did it, yeah.
I was going to say, unless my doppelganger tried that one, I honestly don't know.
Well, we've got that one on the shelf, a wait and review, but we just haven't got around to it yet.
What's the ABV on yours?
Yeah, 220, 221.
So Peter White's saying that the Barterhouse 20 has lots of wood as well, but much cheaper. Honestly, I really like the Barterhouse 20. I think maybe it's the ABV that makes it a little bit easier on the palate. I don't know. I haven't tried too many old bourbons, so I couldn't really say.
I love the Barterhouse 20.
I got excited today, Daniel, because I saw on a stock list from a store in Alberta that they had a Octomore 7.3. So I immediately almost stumbled over my table to get to the mouse and order it. And when I did so, it said that it was sold out, and I was very upset.
Well, I'll start looking for you.
Honestly, anything 0.3 is absolutely stunning. By the Octomore series, the 0.3s are my favorite by far.
Is it? Well, this is my first one, and I got it because really I've never had one, and it said Virgin Oak on it. So
that's great.
And then I got this one. I got this one because of one guy's review. He was pretty hard on it, but I think he's a little judgy pants. So I thought I'd try it out.
Judgy pants.
Judgy pants. I had low expectations. It didn't even meet those.
No. I had a girlfriend like that once.
Have you opened that one yet?
No, I haven't. Should I?
Sure.
It'll make this. I did buy it to just open it. Should I give it a shot?
Yeah, give it a shot to see what you think.
Mike, the store was called World of Whiskey.
There is no whiskey in Alberta.
That's true. That's also true.
Yeah.
There
used to be, but
saying that 6.3 and the 8.3 are both better than the 7.3. I don't know. I really like the 7.3. I haven't tried the 8.3, so I can't tell you what that's like. But actually, I have tried the 8.3. I lied. I have. I had a sample of the 8.3, and so far, I think I like the 6.3 best, but I really like the 7.3 as well.
Yeah.
Okay. It's opened. Oh my God. Canadian whiskey doesn't have a cork? Oh my goodness. I can't believe that.
Now keep in mind it says bourbon mash, so make sure you look for those bourbon notes in it.
I will. I don't have high expectations either.
So I'm not doing a very good job keeping up with the chat here, but I saw that Rob Horvitz is saying, what's up, brother? He asked a question. I believe Peter White took care of the answer. I missed the question. So what's coming up next for both of you guys? Like what is I know, Scott, you guys are preparing for the big part 2, right?
Yep, we started shooting yesterday and probably finish up next week for the Pete Strikes Back, our second 16-bottle peated shootout.
Eric is saying that tomorrow.
Sniper.
Hangover day. I like it.
Doesn't matter for the work I do. You feel hungover whether you're been drinking or not.
Dave Dryman is joining us. Dave Dryman has a really cool Instagram page, guys. You guys got to check him out. I believe he's in Australia. I could be wrong about that. Dave Dryman, can you clarify that in the chat? I'm sorry if
He just said good afternoon, so that makes sense.
Well, it could be one of a couple places. It could be New Zealand. It could be. But thanks for being a smart ass anyway, Daniel.
I wasn't. I honestly didn't think you had time to read the chat.
Yeah, he's
You're really slow for a teacher.
But
I gotta show you what the chat box looks like because I only get 3 messages at a time for whatever reason. I don't know how to adjust it. What's that?
If you go to the 3 little arrows, 3 little dots on the side, you can pop your chat up bigger, right?
Yep. Yeah, and then you can click and drag the sides of it to enlarge it. I make it as tall as it'll go, and I move it over to the side.
Pop out chat?
You need to get.
Look at that. You guys are geniuses.
Yeah.
I need you guys.
You need to get one of Food Quig's. You need to get Food Quig's binocular or whatever he uses there as magnifying glass.
I love Food Quig, man. I love Food Quig. Yes, that's
okay.
Much better. Oh, and so recently, the LCBO released the 2017 Kalila 18-year-old unpeated cask strength for $102. This is ridiculous because it shatters basically the global price, like by a huge margin. Like I believe the 15-year-old goes for 130 American globally, maybe a little bit less than that. Okay, so I don't know. Scott, do you know anything about the prices of Kalila cask strength unpeateds over there?
Well, we've got the 15. I don't know if I've seen the 18 year, but the 15 year is $110, $120 for or right around, maybe it's right around 100 for the 15 year.
Okay, so let's say it's 100 American. So that's roughly 125 Canadian, basically. So right now we're paying for the 18-year-old, and there wasn't very many released, so I don't know if anybody in the chat was able to pick up a bottle. I know Peter White did just because I picked up his extra bottles. But $102 Canadian, we're talking. So that's like Monopoly money, $100 for an 18-year-old cask strength, which is absolutely unheard of. So we don't know whether or not this is a mistake. We don't know if they're trying to get rid of it. It doesn't make sense to anybody. It's a 2017, so it's not like it's like 5-year-old stock. What's that going for in Alberta there, Daniel?
Sorry, what were we talking about?
I know, you know what?
I missed.
I know that the 15-year-old goes for around 120 to 130 in Alberta. So,
But which bottle? I was typing something when you mentioned it.
the Kalila 18-year-old cast strength unpeated.
Oh, you know what? I have never looked at it. I own one Kalila. It's a 1 liter duty free exclusive a buddy brought back to me. I don't have much of an idea on it.
So
Jason Fisk is saying it's 180 to 190.
yeah, that's a reasonable price on it. But a lot of these guys are saying 100 US. Jason Coates is saying that it's 102. Where are you, Jason? Wow. So John Belushi is saying that he picked up a Macallan 18-year-old for $120. That is just ridiculous. That's a steal. I don't know where he got that.
I think he said it was a price mistake, or is that somebody else's comment?
So Peter White's thinking that it's a price mistake from 2012. So they left. Basically, he's suggesting that they left the price from 2012 when the last time they had the 18. Because right now they have the 17-year-old at around $190. So a 1 year older is basically $90 cheaper, or $80 cheaper, whatever it is. I'm not.
Is John Belushi, is he in the States or Canada? Because he says Highland Park 18 for a Honda was good. It's more than that here, I think. And Coates is in Manhattan.
Okay. So Manhattan, that's not, I mean, it's not really far from here, but U.S. price. No. So still 102 U.S. is a lot more than 102 Canadian.
I think is there a Manhattan in Kansas?
Yeah, man, that's where K-State University is at.
Oh, okay.
Oh, okay. So that is far from here then.
The Whiskey Dick is here.
Hey, Bill, what's going on, buddy?
I just want to show Bill that I opened up another Canadian bottle without a cork. Look, no cork. It's a twist off. Ta-da.
Have you guys tried the Springbank 12-year-old cast strength? I know you did, Scotty. Have you, Daniel?
No, I have not. I haven't even found a bottle. I think somebody from Ontario bought them all.
I'm not gonna lie. I bought 2 of them because it's phenomenal stuff. Like, I'm talking ridiculous stuff. Like, I like it a lot better than the Springbank 18-year-old. I like it better than the Long Grow 18-year-old. I like it a million times better than the Hazelburn Barolo. So it's so easy to drink at 56.5%. Like, you do not have to add a drop of water. Anyway, I was saying earlier that Malt Reviews, Mike and Narby, they reviewed a Springbank, like an older version of a Springbank 100 proof. And they have a whole lineup of different versions of it. Honestly, if you guys are not subscribed to them, you guys should check them out. They're really, really cool guys. They review, like, you guys think I'm high-end whiskey. You haven't seen their channel yet. Like, they review the top of the top. Like, it's ridiculous.
I think I watched one of theirs, yes.
I believe they're from Cali as well.
I'm not going to disagree with you at all, Bart. This is probably what this right away. I get rye, but I'm going to have to give it some time. I think it's rye that's been like in a plastic bottle for a while. It's not really disgusting, but then what I smell doesn't translate to the palate at all.
It's not that bad overall, but had they named it like Crown Royal Special Cask, it might, and it was $25, you probably wouldn't think it was that bad. But when they got bourbon mash plastered all over it, you're left wanting. I mean, you're like, where is it? What is it?
What did Gillespie say on his show about it? I forget.
He hadn't tried it yet. He had a bottle, but he hadn't tried it yet.
No whiskey, Dick, Bill. It is the bourbon mash, which obviously they got it down in the U.S. before we got it, and I just saw a bottle, and it was $35, so I grabbed it.
Yeah, I heard it's not very good, to be honest with you.
It's. I wouldn't say not buy it, but. Yeah. I don't always trust that guys that tell you that's no good.
What's up, Bourbon Shenanigans? How's it going, brother? Travis Faircloth is in the house. What's up, buddy? Museum pieces is what Mike and Narby call their like high-end collection, but they open a ton of their bottles. So I have mad respect for those guys because they buy expensive stuff, but they open it and they drink it and they enjoy it. And I'm a little bit bitter inside because there's a whole bunch of people sitting on all these Macallan Exceptional single casks, and they'll never know what those things taste like. They just know that they're worth a ton of money, and they just bought basically an entire store worth of them and locked them up in their dungeon. So it kind of hurts my heart a little bit. I don't judge them and I don't disrespect them for doing it. It hurts because it's such good whiskey. I can just imagine how good those cask strength single cask whiskeys are. Ranting a little bit here, but
I got the point.
No offense to the guy sitting across from me who has like a store worth of whiskey in his house.
Well,
that's because
Jason Fisk is asking. He said something about Mark Gillespie saying that the Crown Royal Bourbon Mash could be collected it's supposedly it's being pulled and it's going to be relabeled because of U.S. trademarks and bourbon requirements and all that stuff. So I've heard, though, that still that's just rumor. I don't know. I mean, Mark Gillespie had it, so I would assume he's checked his sources on it.
He said, I agree with what is being said by, who did you say he said it? Danny? Because I'm pretty sure that's what I heard on your show, but I didn't remember the specifics.
Yeah, no, it was Jason Fisk that asked about it, and he's the one that, or Gillespie is the one that brought it up and was talking about it. Like supposedly in the United States, what was on the shelves or the distributors had would be sold, but anything made from that point on that was going to have to be relabeled. I don't know. I mean, it's all over here. If it's not going to be rare by any means,
and it's because of the word bourbon that they don't like it.
Right.
Yeah. Okay. It's the Bourbon Whiskey Association saying you can't use it.
Yeah. Yeah.
So Bill's asking if you guys think that Jane Walker will become a collector's item. I'm gonna say probably if they decide to remake it or continue making it, then no. But if this is a one-off, then any one-off whiskey, especially by the big names like Macallan, Johnnie Walker, Ardbeg, all these one-offs are worth something in the future. Someone's going to be willing to pay a little bit extra to get it for sure. So I'm going to say yes. What do you guys think?
Yeah, I think so on the Jane Walker. I think it could become, it's probably rarer than the Crown Royal Bourbon Mash. Maybe not. I don't know. So what's the price? I mean, either one, the Bourbon Mash in the States is $25 and I haven't seen the Jane Walker. I think it's the same pricing though as the black.
Yeah. They're all entry level whiskey, so they're not going to be like wallet breakers by any means. And I'm assuming they made a ton of them, as far as I know. But Peter White was saying earlier that the whiskey that those two guys that I keep mentioning tonight reviewed is a Samaroli single cask. Samaroli did a whole bunch of single casks. He owned the company, I guess, or whatever. A lot of his stuff is highly, highly rated. And Serge, I'm not sure if you guys are familiar with whiskeyfun.com. Serge rated that as the one that I think they have in their collection as his highest review ever was a 98. So,
Bill just said that Jane Walker could go up to about $27 a year, $27 in a few years.
Yeah, so you guys better invest now because it might be better shortly. What are you guys drinking?
It's one you can put in the back of your closet and forget about for 25 years.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think so.
The Johnnie Walker, the Blade Runner 2049 edition. I've seen that. There's still some online stores that have it for like $130, 120, 130.
Yeah, that one's gonna go up quick, and
that one could, yeah, that would be a good investment.
Yeah, absolutely, and that's relatively like easy on the wallet. There was another whiskey that was released around the same time. I'm not sure if you're familiar with it. It was the Kingsman Glengoyne. It replaced the Grandiers, and that whiskey went from like 800 retail immediately to about, I don't know, like now it's like in the like thousands. I don't know how much it is, but it within the year. And what's even more insane is what's happened to the Macallan single cask. I'm not sure if you guys are following along at all, but like in auction, one of the Macallan single casks that, like, I think it was a 21-year-old that was retailed not even a year ago. It's like 6 months ago they were released at, I think it was $2,000 American. It went for $20,000.
Wow.
It's a 6-month increase. So whoever bought those bottles is like, they're like sitting on a gold mine. Which is,
yeah, actually the Blade Runner 2049 Johnnie Walker Black is it's in the 50 percentile. It's almost like a cask strength.
Yeah. I would love to try that one. It never came to Canada, and it's not that easy to come by down there either.
Well, Jay Fretless just pointed out that it's 49% for 2049. That could be. I knew it was higher than the standard black offering.
Not sure if any of you guys had a chance to try this one. I think you did, Scott, right? The full volume?
No, we haven't had that one, no.
So the full volume is a limited edition as well. It's 17 years old. It's 47.2%. It's lightly peated.
Are you sure? Are you sure it's 17 years old?
I'm sure it's 17 years old. It looks like it looks like it's 18 years old. They're like, the dates line up to be 18 years old, but it's actually just short of 18, which makes it what, Daniel?
Are you a math teacher?
So the dates on the bottle are 1999 to 2017, but they don't show the months, and the months add up to less than 18 full years. So thus, you would call it a what, Scott?
Well, they've had it. They've had that in the promotional materials that it's 17 years old.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. I have been schooled.
It's delicious, though.
Rob G bought 3 bottles of the 2049 for $75. That's pretty good. Yeah. Somebody up there a little bit ago said that it's still in a store somewhere for $7. There it is. Viet Blade Runner edition still in store for $75. I'd buy a couple bottles myself just to put back, because I think that one's already been shooting up in price.
So I want to point this next comment out to Travis Faircloth and give him a huge shout out and thank you, because Mike Manganiello just pointed out that he sold a Macallan edition #1 for $645 American in auction. That is redonkulous. That is obscene. But it makes sense because it's, in my opinion, the best of the 3 by far, and there are very, very few of those. The other ones, they've produced a whole ton of them, but the Macallan edition #1, if I'm not mistaken, there's less than 5,000 bottles or something like that.
Huh, I did not know that.
Yeah. So if you have an edition #1, which I'm lucky enough to have, thanks to Travis again. Thank you again, brother.
He arranged for you to get it?
He arranged for me to get it. Unfortunately, sometimes the arranging doesn't work out so well, which is what Chris and I had to come to understand the hard way today. On International Whisky Day. Could you guys not have chose another day? Oh, well. It's okay.
That's probably why they were checking the packages extra special.
I guess so.
You got to word them the right way.
Yeah. Well, we live and learn, I guess.
Was there any questions from customs on your end, Richard?
No.
I learned that from a German collector in obviously Germany.
This full volume, despite not being any sherry whatsoever, is phenomenal. So Bill's asking if I got a new laptop. The short answer is yes. This is a laptop that I'm allowed to use from work, but I never use it. I never bring it home because I'm too lazy. I just usually lock it up before I go home. Actually, Peter White corrected me. He said there's only 1,500 bottles according to Whiskey Base. So 1,500 bottles of the Macallan Edition #1.
Wow.
You have to have 2 of those. Travis, you're the man. But I also want to give a huge shout out again. I know I did it earlier in the show. Santa Cruzan, you are the man. I love you, man. Your efforts will not go, unrewarded. Let's just say that.
So, what do they do with stuff they seize? They don't send it back to the shipper?
I believe they source whatever marijuana and alcohol that they get from seizing, and they use it for their company Christmas party.
Right on. I'm in the wrong business.
Yeah, that's what I think they do. That's just my opinion, but they say they destroy it, quote unquote.
Yeah, we all saw the movie.
I found something on the web about destroy a quote unquote.
So Siri thinks we're talking to her.
Siri is listening anyway.
That was Customs listening into our conversation. That's what happened there. Basically,
the bastards are drinking it. Whiskey Whistle's here.
Hey, Mark, what's up, brother? Happy International Whiskey Day to you too, brother. If you guys haven't already, go to Whiskey Whistle, subscribe to his channel. Super cool guy, very, very knowledgeable. Knows a ton about whiskey, stuff that I'll probably never know in my lifetime. He's, like I said, very knowledgeable guy. Check him out. We're about 59, which is usually where we sit at on an average day. I think I should have given a little bit more notice to people that I was going live tonight. I kind of changed the time from 10:15 to 9:30, just based on the fact that my wife went to bed very early tonight, so I didn't have any wife duties. And
I have a.
Go ahead.
Your wife is probably plotting against you right now.
Not probably. Absolutely.
Absolutely. Mark, if you're watching, I saw your review when I bought a bottle of this. Is your ABV different than mine? The ABV on this is 55.7. I thought somebody else did a review and it was a different ABV. Just curious.
That might be the one. Is that the one that Mark broke when he was reviewing it, or was that the Kilkerran 12?
Oh, yeah, he did drop one right off the freaking table. The whole bottle, not a glass.
Yep. Yeah, the whole bottle.
I think it was the 12, wasn't it?
Which one?
The 12?
Might have been, yeah.
Spirit Safe's in the house. What's up, buddy? He has a really cool channel. He reviews whiskey as well. His name is Rob as well, I believe. Right?
Oh, did everybody see that? I just about dropped my bottle.
There you go. It's the Kilkerran James, man. Mark, see what you started?
Jeez.
I honestly,
well,
I always think about two people when I think about, like, when I almost drop a bottle and then I stumble with a bottle in my hand. I think about Mark when he dropped his Kilkerran 12, and I think about Scotty when he destroyed a bottle of Balvenie Ton. Poor guy. That one must have hurt a little bit more, I think.
That one hurt me deep.
Yeah,
after you broke it, did you draw a chalk line around the stain on the cement?
No, and I'll tell you, it was hot out. That stuff was gone in about 5 minutes.
Were you down on all fours trying to get a taste?
If the glass wasn't shattered all over in it, yeah.
Should have got a straw and just fastened a real quick filter at the bottom.
Yeah, for those watching that don't know, I dropped a brand new bottle, steel sealed, Balvenie Ton 1509 batch 3. Had just gotten it for $350. There you go.
It looks just like that one.
I hopped out of my car with it in hand, and whoop, there it went, just like that. Gone.
That only happened to me once, and it wasn't a bottle of whiskey. It was a bottle of Bailey, so I don't feel so bad.
Oh, yeah.
Except it was right in the boss's office, and I was trying to hide the bottle in my pocket. It was New Year's Eve. We all had to go to the office, and it was meant to go in everybody's hot chocolate. Anyway.
So I haven't reviewed any of the whiskeys that I tried tonight, or actually I did. I lied. I reviewed the Glengoyne 21, and I just readjusted the Mark 10A Plus. But this Highland Park full volume is redonkulous. And if you have an opportunity, buy 2 of them because it's going to be long gone. And it's one of the rare Highland Parks that is exclusively aged in ex-bourbon. So it really gives the spirit a chance to shine. And honestly, in my opinion, for $130, it was a steal. Way better, like by a long shot, way better than the 18-year-old standard edition. That's my opinion, but
Eric Waite just ordered 2 bottles of the Blade Runner 2049 edition.
Let me ask, is there a question or is there a something special about that blend other than it's named after a movie?
Well, it was a different bottle. In the movie, they had a futuristic. It was a square bottle, or it was long but square, and so it's in that bottling. I think it even comes in a different box for it, and then bottled at 49%.
Okay, that'll make it better at a higher ABV.
Yeah.
Blue liquor. I have heard about the penicillin, and was that not something to do with a compass box? I believe that they actually used some compass box in that penicillin.
Well, he's just saying that it's a few drops of some sort of peated whiskey. So
yeah, and I think it's a compass box.
Tim says that he agrees on the full volume. Honestly, if you guys haven't tried it, go out and buy it, search for it, whatever you got to do to get it, because it's cheap. It's really cheap, and in my opinion, it'll go up even higher than some of the whiskeys we've been talking about tonight because it's so limited. Travis is asking if anybody's tried the dark 17-year-old. It's amazing to me that the dark is worth or costs so much more than this one right here because of the fact that it uses some ex-sherry casks. This is only ex-bourbon, and I guess they don't feel like they're appealing to their audience when they release something like this, but it's fantastic stuff. Makes no sense to me.
Yeah, and the full volume here is $90, and the dark is $325.
Yeah, how does that make sense? They're both 17 years old. I don't know.
How many bottles? How many bottles do they have of each? Maybe it's a matter of making a profit off a smaller amount.
Yeah, I don't know.
Honestly, I don't know. I don't think there's many of this. So I don't think there's many more of this one than there is of unless they plan on making the full volume annually. That could be the reason for it.
So what I'm drinking right now is 7 years old. There's only 100 or 820 bottles. So even though it's a blend of Indian and single malt, it was still a $170 bottle.
Wow.
But I think so far it's worth it. I've spent more money on ones that I didn't think tasted this good.
That's an interesting blend. We'll have to swap samples.
Yep, no problem, buddy. I might go back and get another one because it's on sale. This is the first
in the house. That's Mark, I believe. Mark, what's up, brother?
And there's the first one I got from them. It's called the Glover. It's actually quite a bit more money.
Ah, very nice.
And I think Glover. These are Scotsmen that were in India.
So you got the Adelphi condom and the Adelphi Kim Kardashian. They go well together.
I would definitely be wearing
Absolutely,
if I
took the
was.
words right out of my mouth. If you're
Yeah.
ever with Kim Kardashian, you would definitely need one of those. You'll need a glove. You need a glover if you're with Kim.
Yes. Is the Mac Classic Cut limited? That's crazy asking. I don't think it's gonna be. No.
Yeah, it is.
It is limited, but get this. There's 90,000 bottles.
Yeah.
So don't worry. Pump the brakes on loading up on it because there's a lot out there.
Yeah. But when it's gone, it's like the cask strength that was out 6-7 years ago.
Yeah.
They did a run of it and that was it. So this run was done for the classic cut and then that's it.
Yeah, no, for sure. I just think like 90,000 bottles. I feel like my son's gonna be able to buy that since 19.
90,000 for the world, internationally.
Yeah, but I mean, odds are China buys 50% of that right off the hop. After that,
yeah, Asia's in love with Macallan's, that's for sure.
Yeah, don't you show us that Macallan cast strength, you jerk.
I'm only showing you one of the bottles.
Yeah, only one of the 5 that you have.
I don't have 5. I didn't even know that these were important. But it doesn't have a year on this. Or does it somewhere?
That bottle's worth at least 400 or 500 American.
Yeah.
I'll sell it to you for 5.
Done.
That one is straight Oloroso sherry cask, the cask strength. Compared
exclusively,
to yeah. So the classic cut is it's sherry as well, but it's from American oak and European oak. It's more along the lines of the 12-year double cask edition that they came out with. It's kind of a cask strength version of it.
I tried it, and it's available here now, but I haven't bought a whole bottle, right? So.
Most of the diehard sherry fans prefer the cask, that bottling there, the older cask strength, to the classic cut, because the classic cut is a lighter sherry sweetness to it. It's still good. It's still a good bottling.
Here's a line that Daniel's never heard before. Daniel's whipping out the big one.
Santa, don't be giving freaking Rob some fuel here.
And Travis is right. He says, I want to try that one. I didn't. And Peter White points out $700 minimum for the Mac cask strength.
There you go. So,
US?
It depends because I know that Jeremy from Toronto Whiskey Society just bought one on auction for about 350 American. So, but you can get more than that for sure.
I keep waiting. I know I'll stop someday in a smaller liquor store somewhere along the highway, and there's going to be 6 bottles sitting there on the shelf.
And when that
Travis, you got to ask that question before I'm getting up and down here. I'm going to fall over right on site. What's the ABV on this one? No, it's 58. I need the exercise. It's 58.6% ABV, Travis. Probably lower in the US.
Whiskey Scouts in the house.
Damn you, Macallans. Okay, yeah. Scott, what is Bart drinking tonight since he's not here?
He's probably in bed already. He probably had some warm milk at room temperature and curled up in the fetal position and went to bed.
A little Bailey.
Oh, my heavenly Lord. So what does GTS stand for, Travis? And I have a 59.3 and he traded it for GTS for it.
Wow. George T. Stagg.
Oh, George T. Stagg. I wonder if Travis is the guy that sold me the 23-year-old Elijah Craig.
Mark, I don't know who Self-Built Whiskey Analysis is, although they are in Ontario. I probably should know that. I don't know. I might follow them on Instagram, but I don't know who they are.
Yeah, everybody's pointing out that Duncan.
There's a guy in the chat right now that has literally like the foundation of his basement is built with George T. Stagg bottles. He literally has 10,000 bottles holding up a foundation, like the wall, to keep out, boulders and whatever else.
Really?
Yeah.
Where is he from?
He's from the United States of America.
Oh. So there's somebody in the United Provinces of America that collects bourbon. And he's here somewhere, and that's where I got the 23 from, but I got it through another mutual friend, so I've never met him.
That's pretty cool. Honestly, like the guy that I'm referring to, I'm not going to mention any names, is pretty close to what I just said.
Oh, okay. Murica. Bill. Whiskey Whistle, is he drinking?
Yeah, I should have asked Mark that. Just ask Peter White. He would know, because Peter White pretty much knows the ins and outs of whiskey, and basically whoever writes about it, whoever talks about it, he's there. I honestly believe that he is like the Illuminati, like the whiskey Illuminati. Like he knows everything to do with what's going on in the whiskey world at all times.
I think he is, yep. I agree. I want to keep an eye on him. There's a certain guy in Oklahoma that I think might will just sick him on him. Whiskey Whistle, you're at work.
I'm going back for a second dram of this Highland Park here. Man.
Michael is asking, which do you prefer, the Springbank 12 cast strength or the Deanston 10 PX cast strength?
The Springbank 12. Honestly, I love the Deanston 10. Like, I love it. But the Springbank 12 is just bonkers. If you like a little bit of peat, and it's funny because I've always noticed this different taste to Springbank. And Mike and Narby, again, I mentioned them for probably the 10th time tonight. I swear they're not paying me. They talk about this, like, rusty mustiness about a Springbank, and literally that's what makes it so appealing. It sounds gross, but it's actually amazing. So the Springbank 12 for sure.
There's your answer. I am looking up Deanston on our local website that tells us what everybody has. I'm not going to say it out loud because there is no whiskey in Alberta.
Peter's comment was pretty funny there.
I agree with, Travis Faircloth points out that it doesn't really get better than the Stag for bourbon. He does prefer Scotch, though. But yes, the Stags are probably my favorite, and very close behind is the Elijah Craig Barrel Proof.
I'm gonna say that the William LaRue Weller is a bit better in my opinion, but I definitely agree that the Stag is amazing. Elijah Craig Barrel Proof. I'm getting 2 bottles. I'm not gonna judge it based on the sample that I got. Mm-hmm. I wanna know what it's all about when I get the actual 2 bottles in a week's time. Finally, I'm getting these bottles that are waiting for me in Ohio. My friend's going down, which is what I should have done to begin with. And honestly, Chris, I apologize if you're watching. I should have just got those sent to Ohio. I don't know why we even risked it, but anyway, I digress.
He said, Jason Fisk says he can't find the Deanston. Well, I have seen what's listed here. They have Cadenhead has a Deanston 94. Barry's, which is another private bottler.
I'll grab it. What's that?
Barry Brothers, I think they're called. They have a 1997 Deanston, and then we have Deanston 12. There's 2 different bottles of Deanston. Oh, one's a little bottle. 18-year-old Deanston, and then the Virgin Oak. And I will have to find out what store they say it is, and they even tell us what store it's in.
So this is the 18-year-old Deanston, the ex-bourbon. If you have a cognac cask Deanston, amazing stuff. Apparently, like, long gone, so if you got it, savor it. This is the PX. I reviewed it earlier on in 2017. It was in my honorable mentions. It probably could have been in my top 6. It's that good. Super smooth stuff, really sweet. PX finish. which is probably, in my opinion, the right amount of PX, because sometimes when you go a little bit too overboard with PX, it can get maybe too sweet, but that's just my opinion. Really, really good stuff, though.
I found 4 stores in our downtown area that have Deanston. So,
Peter, I will split that bottle with you if you're willing to open it. E.H. Taylor Barrel Proof. Scott, have you had a chance to try that one yet?
Yeah, I actually have. I've got 2 bottles. One I just opened up a while back. I've still got a sealed one of it. It's okay. It's still ECBP beats it out, if you ask me.
Okay. I was working on a trade to get one of those, and then we changed it up for something else. But I'm always intrigued by barrel proof bourbon. I think that's where bourbon should be at its best, in my opinion.
Yes. Yeah, and a couple people,
Charles is in the house.
couple people have brought up the Woodford Reserve has a new barrel proof one out. I haven't found that one yet, but looking. Yeah, and hi to Charles over at Whiskey Untitled.
Hey, what's up, bud?
They had a great show tonight.
Yeah, I wasn't able to tune in, but I made sure to wait before, you guys were done, and then give you guys a little bit of a buffer. But if you guys haven't already, go to Whiskey Untitled and subscribe to the channel, because every Tuesday they do a live before this one, and I usually go a little bit later, so it's perfect. So you guys have a whole night of entertainment if you start with Whiskey Untitled and then come over and watch me. Not that I'm entertaining, but I usually have some pretty entertaining guests like these 2 gentlemen tonight.
Yeah, there's something to be said to not being alone.
Yeah, it can get a little dry when we're just sitting here by ourselves talking to our computer, especially because it's pretty silent when you're by yourself. And although you guys can hear me and it's not silent on your end, it feels a little lonely on my end.
Whiskey Whistle is pouring a work bottle.
Not a boy. I wish we were allowed to have whiskey at work, but
If you give some to the students, isn't it okay?
well, considering that they're all 14 and under, I'm going to say no.
Oh. Are you telling me you never had a drink when you were 14?
I'm not telling you that I've never had a drink. I'm telling you that I cannot promote drinking under the age of 19.
Oh, okay. 19?
19. You guys are 18.
We're 18.
You guys are 18. I think you guys and Quebec are the only ones that are 18 in Canada.
Well, I grew up in the Maritimes, so there was no age limit there.
That's because there's one person per 500,000 kilometers.
I am pretty sure that I was conceived with some consumption of alcohol, so.
That we are all certain of.
Bastard.
I'm kidding, Dan. Cheers, buddy. I only tease you like that because I love you. You know that.
I know. My dad told me that he was joking around, and Mom took him seriously. Whiskey Whistle just asked, you don't have a bottle hiding in the drawer?
What's that?
Mark just asked, you don't have a bottle hiding in the drawer?
You know what? I try to limit my alcohol consumption as a whole. So having a bottle at work would kind of go against everything that I've been trying to do.
If you
go ahead.
If you taught Kung Fu, you could teach drunken style, and then you could drink all the time.
Yeah, but unfortunately, I teach Muay Thai. We need a little bit more composure in our. There's not as much swaying in Muay Thai.
Oh, okay.
So what's going on with you next, Daniel? Because we're coming close to 11 o'clock, which I didn't think we would, considering we started so early. But
well,
so when's your next live?
I'm kind I'm kind of doing some things by the seat of my pants here, as you can tell by my live videos. I'll have to ask Julia what her thing is, but I know she hasn't tried this, so I think maybe I'll try to make my own recorded video, and I'll review this, I think, because I actually quite enjoyed it.
Scotty, what's going on your channel on the next
Well, I was gonna tell Throttle, the more he has Julia on, the more people are gonna expect it. You know, she needs to be like Cousin Shane, just an occasional guest, you know.
Yeah, but
or all the time.
That's what he's got going for him right now. He's got Julia and that beautiful collection.
That might be true.
What, you know, with the people,
honestly, I'm not to blow smoke up your butt or whatever, but Daniel's a very knowledgeable guy. The reason why he has some of the gems in the background and he plays dumb like he doesn't know the beautiful bottles of whiskey that he has, but he's a very, very knowledgeable guy. So if you're watching right now, there's almost 60 people in the chat. Go right now to Whiskey Throttle and subscribe, because this guy knows his stuff and he's got a beautiful collection that trumps pretty much any whiskey reviewer right now. So do that. And then also, while you're at it, go to Scotch Test Dummies. I'm pretty sure everybody's subscribed to them already, but if you're not, if you happen to be one of the few that haven't subscribed to the Scotch Test Dummies, you need to do that right now, because they are awesome. They've been around for a while. They know their stuff, and they're pumping out some incredible videos. So,
well, thanks. We're learning as we go, and I definitely have learned a lot over the last 4.5 years. But if you're not subscribed to us, go do it, because we've only gained like 2 subscribers in the last 2 days. It's killing me. I watch our numbers all the time, and I'm like, oh my Lord, come on.
It's funny because it's one of the, like, when I was about to start this channel, I talked to my wife about it. I'm like, do you think this is like one of those forks in the road where I make this decision and it leads to like somewhere negative in my life, like starting this channel? And for all the positive that it's brought to me, which is like incredible friends, some incredible whiskey, an opportunity to talk to like-minded people on a regular basis. One thing that I think all of us whiskey reviewers share is this little bit of an obsession with checking our stats, checking our analytics, checking our, like, it's almost unhealthy. Like, I know I experience it. I don't want to speak for everybody else, but I feel like we kind of all experience it at times. So yeah, the two, like, it sounds like nothing, but especially when you have 3,000 or 6,000 subscribers, but 2 subscribers in 2 days feels like it hurts the heart. Shouldn't, because in the grand scheme of things, we're all gonna be okay at the end of the day. But we pay attention a little too much to stats. I find. I know I do.
Yeah, I'm always watching. You know, views, minutes watched, views, subs, comments, all that stuff, all the time.
Absolutely. We'll release a video, and we kind of have a standard for what we expect as far as views go and whatnot. And then when it doesn't reach those plateaus, we're like, what did I do wrong this time? You start to question yourself. It brings in all this like insecurity, and it's really funny to watch, because I spend, my career is based on teaching kids not to think that way about themselves, and then I go ahead and do the exact same thing. So.
Claire the Third is pointing out that the Whiskey Vault guys are making $12,000 a month on Patreon. That's unbelievable.
That's crazy. That's just,
what do you?
bonkers.
How? What? Really? Okay.
I think I'm making about $40 a month on Patreon. I'm nowhere near that, that's for sure. Which reminds me, if you guys happen to be interested in supporting the channel, you guys can go on Patreon and do so. It's up to you guys, but of course, that's an option. 12,000 a month. Jesus.
Yeah, Big Los is in here. I haven't ever seen him tune in before, but he just subbed us today. He said he's been watching Whiskey Vault for a while, but found us.
Where does Claire get that knowledge from, that they're making that much?
Well, you can go to their Patreon page and see. I know someone had pointed out that they had, or it was them even. They said they had some person come in and give them $1,000 a month from one person.
That's crazy.
Wow.
course,
I
they're
don't have
doing
any.
a lot of their stuff. A lot of their stuff. Keep in mind, they're marketing to start their distillery. I think they're using this almost like crowdfunding to help get their distillery going.
Scott,
Plus,
you were saying that we should start a distillery, right? Something like that. You, I, and a whole bunch of other people.
As long as we buy some sherry casks, I'm good with it.
Absolutely.
okay, I want to start one, but what I want to do is buy an old church and gut it. We're going to call it the Church of Spirits.
I like
and
it.
we'll just start making stuff.
Sounds good. The only thing is, we need a warmer climate. Like Canada is not conducive to the warmer climate unless we heat it.
We don't need to worry about that too much. You got a beard. You should be able to handle winter. Stop whining.
I'm not complaining about the winter. I'm just complaining about the effects on the actual whiskey and the length of time you need to age something.
Yeah, we're going to need to churn it out quicker than Canada temperatures.
Yeah, unless we we could source our whiskey for a while from like other companies.
Well, I live in that province that sources probably a lot of North American whiskey.
Yeah, the majority of whiskey coming out of that province is sourced.
Yeah, just ask anybody that drinks Whistle Pig.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's funny because the guy that I mentioned earlier, Whiskey Fun, Serge, he actually has Whistle Pig in the Canadian category. He's an American, I believe. I might be wrong about that. But he has Whistle Pig in the Canadian category because majority of their whiskey is sourced from Alberta.
Yep. Yeah.
Which is okay. That's all right. They make tons of it out here. I might have a connection with a farm in Manitoba.
Well, let's do it.
Go Hab says Edmonton is warm. I haven't been here for a while, have you?
Yeah. What's the temperature right now in Edmonton?
Oh, it was probably -5 when I woke up, and then by the time I had to drive an hour to the gas plant that I was working at, and huge snowstorm whited us right out, and then before I left, which was 9 hours later, all the snow had melted off the truck. If you don't like the weather in Alberta, you just wait 15 minutes. It is -15 5 hours up north, and it's -6 here right now, tonight. This is nighttime. Dr. Dave Ragland, you are right. When we are consuming whiskey, time is important.
So the Whiskey Scout is saying that a single malt should age well up here. There are a couple single malt companies that are releasing single malts. I got a frog in my throat or something.
Is that what they call it?
Stock and Barrel is Stock and Barrel is one that produces a pretty nice single malt, in my opinion. Glen Breton. Now, this is a distillery in Nova Scotia on the shoreline that should be producing way better whiskey, but I think they're a little bit complacent, in my opinion. They're happy with their local purchasing. Daniel's showing. Go ahead, talk, Daniel.
That's a bottle of single malt Stock and Barrel.
So that's produced literally 20 minutes from my house.
Oh yeah, and this is from way up north. It's called White Horse in the Yukon. They started making beer first, and this is their third release, their first peated one. I think if you're a peat head, you'll find it actually probably very light and no peat.
So Duncan's taking off. Good night, Duncan. Thanks for joining. Roy from Aquavite just donated £5 to the chat. Thank you so much, brother. Really appreciate it. He said, sorry I can't join in fully. Crappy internet in Paris. We loved having you here, buddy. I know hopefully you were listening for a little while.
That's like 20 Canadian dollars, isn't it?
That's like 1,000 Canadian dollars.
We actually had to, after one of our live chats, or it was one of our live streams, and we got a donation from somebody, and we were kind of joking around about the same thing. A $10 Canadian is like $1.07, and we actually had somebody comment, kind of slamming us for making fun of that. We shouldn't do that, and it's like, hey, it's kind of a joke. We all just play around with it, and
it's just a joke that we have amongst friends. That's all.
Yeah.
Your money is worth less than ours because it costs less to buy whiskey and eat out in the U.S.
No, but they pay way more to keep themselves healthy. So we have to be happy about that. I just want to quickly answer Tom R's question. He said, "What's my favorite Octomore?" I'm gonna let you guys answer, I'm gonna let Scott answer this as well because I think Daniel's only had one so far, or he hasn't even opened it.
I had one.
So far,
I opened up
2.3. I love it. That's the super chat bell right there.
Yeah, somebody said pull out the cowbell for Rob.
It's got to be the 6.3 so far. I really like the 7.3 as well. I've only had a sample of the 8.3, and I don't like judging anything by a sample. I like the 8.1. I like the 6.1. I like the 7.1. And I really, really like the 7.4. So I would say 6.3, 7.3, probably 7.4 and 8.3 are tied. And then I would go with the 7.1 and 6.1. That's just my opinion. Oh, and 8.1 is last out of all of them.
It's funny. Whiskey Scout pointed out that we might not see the two brewers here in Kansas. So you just have to meet up with me, Whiskey Scout, swing by, and we'll be able to give it a try.
There you go.
Go Habs is asking if you guys know about Canadian Tire money.
No.
Daniel, do you know what Canadian Tire is in Alberta?
Buddy, do we have Canadian Tires in Alberta? Yes. We don't call it Canadian Tire in Alberta. We call it Cambodian Tire.
Why is that?
I've never found anything that says Made in Canada on it. 1 second. I have some money.
Oh, Claire just got 2 more bottles of the Octomore 6.3. That's a good pickup.
Of course he does. Of course Claire has 2 more bottles of 6.3. Claire, what don't you have? That's the question. What don't you have, Claire? She's the one with the laundry list of Macallan single casks.
Is he with you on Snups?
He's joined Snups, but he doesn't participate regularly.
Come on, Claire. All right, what's a Canadian Tire?
This is Canadian Tire money. So when you buy something there, you'll get your change back, but then they'll also give you this depending on how much you spend. And before you had air miles or point cards, Canadian Tire was making this money. And it was I think in the beginning it was basically just a garage. And now you can go there and buy anything, canoes, not lumber and stuff, but they're basically I forget what they call them. A little bit of anything.
Yeah, you can buy groceries there at some Canadian Tire.
Rob, have you ever been to Cuba?
I've never been to Cuba.
You should take some of this down to Cuba. I know the guys in the U.S. don't fly to Cuba.
So I think they're not. Aren't you guys allowed now, Scott, to drive to fly to Cuba?
I honestly don't know.
I thought that
they're afraid to leave the motherland.
They just take a boat to the.
We're not importing Cuban cigars yet. I know that.
Yeah, if you want some, I'll send you some.
You would arrange for me to get some?
Yep, I've got a buddy that is on his second Cuban wife.
Go Habs says that Canadian Tire money is the new Bitcoin. So make sure you.
It's the original Bitcoin. And hey, John from Blind Whiskey Reviews is here, and he says you can go to Cuba, maybe only if you're in California.
Well, we're going to form a dummy coin as well. We'll put it on the stock counter. Look for the tip there coming. It'll probably debut at about $12,000 a piece. So, and you can buy fractions of it. You know,
right on. I've got about 6 of them. I got a good collection going. I'm worth some money. Tom R says he needs his first Cuban wife.
So, Eric Waite saying that Casey Neistat from New York flew down to Cuba and did a vlog. So I guess that means Americans can go to Cuba whenever they want now. I don't know.
Well, you can go down there. There's a lot. They before in the past they couldn't fly from the U.S. to Cuba, so they'd fly to a different Caribbean country and then fly over to Cuba.
So this coin right here, Scott, am I right in saying that Roy from Aquavite helped you guys make this one?
No, we've got a graphics designer that we work with. He doesn't like to be named.
Oh, okay. Sorry. I love it. It reminds me of the iRobot, like the iRobot guys. Very sci-fi looking. Daniel's gonna make fun of me for that, but he has one there too. So
yeah, but look at there. Did you make them smaller? What happened?
I think your glass is just too big there, buddy.
Oh, that's what she said. There we go.
Just remember, the glass is the catcher, not the bat.
My Kim Kardashian glass.
Yeah, exactly.
For drinking my Kim Kardashian whiskey.
Oh man! All right, well, I think we're having a little too much fun. I think we should probably end this chat. All these guys on the chat tonight were very active, very cool. Thank you very much for joining us tonight, guys. Boys, you can stay on the line. I'm going to say good night to everybody. Before I do that, though, make sure you subscribe to both of these gentlemen, Scott from the Scotch Test Dummies and Daniel from Whiskey Throttle. You guys can find them on YouTube. They're both producing some awesome things. Scott's got some really cool peated shootout. What do you call that, Scott? Why don't you talk?
Well, it's a 16-bottle blind peat shootout. We did it and we called it March Peat Madness, and it was such a big success. And we had a lot of bottles we'd left out, and people kept pointing out, so we decided to do a second one that we're calling the Peat Strikes Back.
Some of our viewers are saying, "Keep it going." I'm getting a little sleepy though. So Peat Strikes Back, and then following that, I think everybody, and I'm sure you've announced it on your channel several times, but this summer you guys have a special event coming up as well, right?
Are you talking about the donation, the charity food drive type thing, or the 12 Hours of Boom?
Both. So why don't you kind of explain both?
Well, yeah, coming up in April, we'll push more during the month of May. We're working with the Edmonton Scotch Club, and they do an annual charity food funding for food bank. I'm getting tongue tied here, for local food banks. So we'll tune in, and they had brought up doing, some live stream. They wanted people to do tastings, and to get donations or to get people to donate to the food, their own local food banks. And so we're looking at we'll probably just do one. Well, it might be the month of May, but probably just one Sunday for sure. We'll do a big live stream and look for donation, just people to donate to your local food banks and help out the Edmonton Scotch Club.
Awesome. And then the 12 Hours of Boom, for those that are not familiar with that, what does that entail? Because you guys did one of those last year as well.
Last year was the first time, and we planned 12 Hours of Boom, doing 45 minutes on with a 15-minute break, 12 consecutive hours of live streaming. We had different guests on each episode or each show. And so we're looking at the same thing again this year. July 7th is what we're looking at for that. It'll be a Saturday. It's the 4th of July weekend again. Last year was good. We had a good turnout. hoping for the same this year. So, and we really haven't started putting pen to paper on it yet and getting guests lined up.
Awesome. And Daniel, what's going on with Whiskey Throttle? What should these guys expect from you in the next couple weeks?
I hope that they will be patient and expect me to improve over time. One of the things, though, since Bart mentioned the Edmonton YEG Club, I was talking to Travis just recently, and I will probably have him on because he works. Well, he's a fireman, but he also works for Rare Drams part-time, and he does whiskey tastings and stuff at different liquor stores. So I will probably do a interview with him and talk about the drams for FAMs and some of the rare drams that he has.
Awesome. All right. Well, I want to thank everybody very much. I want to thank Santa Cruzan again one more time. Super nice guy. Went above and beyond what he should do on a, and like, it's too bad nowadays where when you do a good thing for somebody, sometimes you don't get rewarded, but I'll make sure that I hook him up on my end. So thank you very much. And to everybody else that joined tonight, you guys are all awesome. I really appreciate the support. Scott, Daniel, you guys are awesome as well. And I really appreciate you guys joining me tonight.
Thanks for having us.
Cheers, everybody.
Sláinte.